For all of our guests, we are just waiting to make sure that all of the attendees are able to join us before we get started. Okay, looks like everyone is in. Good evening and welcome to the proceedings of the Grand Rapids Public Schools. Tonight is Monday, August 3rd. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Lewis, can you please start with the roll?
Yes. Dr. Baker?
Here.
Ms. Davis?
Here.
Dr. Flores?
Present.
Ms. Lewis, present. Reverend Matias?
Present.
Mr. Ross?
Present.
Ms. Shackey?
Present.
Mrs. Williams?
Present.
President Grant?
Here.
There is a quorum.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Support? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Thank you. And the first agenda item that we have for this evening is celebrations with Affinity Mentoring.
Are you all able to hear me? I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. President Grant, members of the board, I would like to ask Craig to bring forward Bridget Cheney. We'll be celebrating our partnership with Affinity Mentoring, and Bridget will introduce Cassandra Keeger.
Thank you. Good evening, President Grant, Superintendent Roby, and distinguished members of the board. I am so excited and pleased to be able to introduce Cassandra Keeger of Affinity Mentoring this evening. Affinity Mentoring has been working with Grand Rapids Public Schools, 3 schools in particular, since 2001, Burton Elementary, Burton Middle School, and Southwest Community Campus. And we're so excited about this partnership because of the benefits that it offers to our students. So please give a big round of applause virtually for Cassandra Keeger as she talks a little bit about Affinity Mentoring and just the great things that are happening, and also welcome her as the new executive director because she's newly on board as the executive director with Affinity Mentoring. So thank you so very much. And Cassandra, please come forward.
Thank you so much. Could everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Bridget. We are so grateful to be here today and as well as to be a partner with GRPS. As Bridget said, we're in 3 different schools with GRPS, a 4th in GLPS, and we support nearly 300 mentor matches in the schools each year, as well as having amazing support from community organizations and businesses. And one of the things we love about our partnership with GRPS is that you all produce absolutely fantastic students and leaders in our community. And we are so excited when we have the opportunity to partner alongside your graduates and make sure that they have an opportunity to stay engaged and to reinvest back into the GRPS community. So one of a fantastic example of ours that you can learn more about at our website is Luis Perez. So he and his family moved to GRPS and participated at SWCC in the ELL program there and completely thrived with the support of GRPS staff, as well as being able to participate in Affinity's mentoring program. And so he was able to graduate from that and move on to Union, where he had a very successful high school career, graduated and went on to higher education, and now works at Steelcase, who is also a community partner of ours. And so we're so grateful when we get to be able to support those types of matches. But at Affinity, we don't only want to support students, but make sure we're supporting a whole family. And a fantastic example of that is Javier at SWCC, who has been partnered with his mentor Jim for 5 years. And so Jim and Javier's mom, Marilu, have really embraced the fact that every student needs a lot of adult support to be really successful. And so Jim has really become an extension of the family and the resources and support of Javier and his education. And really, Jim has focused on cultivating in Javier a love for reading and really supported building a foundation of not only literacy skills, but but English as he continues to learn and grow. And in 2018, we had the absolute pleasure and privilege of being able to sign a data sharing contract with GRPS, because it's really important to us that we don't only have good qualitative data, but quantitative excellence in the work that we do, and making sure that we can rise to the fantastic quantitative excellence that GRPS puts out in their education. And so we make sure that our mentors in those matches are doing a great job, not only supporting literacy and math skills, but social emotional well-being and leadership development, because we know how critical those are for kids' futures. And I have the absolute outstanding pleasure of having an amazing, amazing staff who's at the final stages of transitioning our entire mentoring program to an online virtual mentoring program to ensure that every student and every mentor match has equitable access to being able to meet with their mentor this year. And so that will be 100% online to be able to maintain safety and health for everybody. And we have been working really hard to obtain our own resources to make sure that we're not a burden on an already difficult system that COVID and the social realities that we're in have placed everyone in, but that we can be an excellent support and an excellent safety net alongside GRPS and the fantastic work you do with students. And so I appreciate so much you giving us the time to be here today and to celebrate with you, and encourage everybody to look at further information and stories and data on our website and learn how you too can become a partner.
Thank you, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next we have our secretary's report. Ms. Lewis.
You're muted, Kathy.
There we go. I think, right? Okay. Board member election nominees. The following individuals are running for the Grand Rapids School Board: incumbent Christian Grant, incumbent Catherine Downs Lewis, incumbent Raynard Ross, incumbent Jen Shockey. Each candidate is seeking a 4-year seat that will take effect January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2024. The school board ballot item will take place during the general election on November 3rd, 2020. Please check the district's website or go to the notice of regular and special board meetings to obtain Zoom virtual meetings across, or to access information, or if there are any changes going on in in-person meetings. All of our meetings are over Zoom. Meetings are noticed and posted outside the district office administrative building following the Open Meetings Act requirements. The Academic Achievement Committee will be meeting this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Legislative Committee is going to meet next Wednesday at 1 p.m. That's August 12th. Policy Committee is meeting Wednesday, August 19th at 5 p.m. Finance will be meeting on Monday, August 24th at 5:30 p.m. And the Conference of the Committee Chairs will be meeting on Thursday, August 27th at 10 a.m. And the City Board Liaison Committee will be meeting on Tuesday, September 1st, 2020 at 10 a.m.
Thank you. Next, we have updates from Finance Committee and Academic Achievement Committee. Ms. Williams, let's start with you.
Good evening, everyone. We have several items that are going to be on our agenda later today. I'll give you a brief synopsis of those and then give you a final wrap up. So we have for action item, our purchasing agenda. Mr. Obos reminded us at the committee meeting that this is an overview of purchasing agendas that's going to be presented, and it's items that are typical of the first 2 months of the fiscal year. Also, he updated us with regards to the bond project at Ottawa Hills for security upgrades, and that things are moving along in the renovations and there are no concerns. He also stated that there is some money that's going to be available to the district through the CARES Act as well as some other partners in the state to try to cover our PPE cost as we go forward and looking ahead to reopening schools. Additionally, that many of those items will be ordered in advance to make sure that we have them by the time we need them. We do have a supply currently. However, we want to make sure that we have sufficient time where we don't run out. And so those items will be ordered in advance as well. We also talked about the additional 7,000 devices that should be going out to our students in August, and the steps that are going to be taking place in our buildings to make sure our children are safe when they do return. There will be other items that are brought to the board with regards to the purchasing agenda at the August at this meeting. So again, this is the purchasing, the action item that we'll talk about and vote on later. The other item is the blanket purchases. Historically, the district has asked the board to approve known reoccurring expenses such as electric bills. So every month that the bill exceeds the threshold, that is something that is brought back to us so that we see the increase beyond the normal anticipated cost. So there is also some vendor changes. The first is Alight Solutions, a third-party administrator for the benefits plan. And this will go through our RFP process. Oh, I'm sorry, it went through the RFP process a year ago. Let's see here. And that's pretty much it with regards to the blanket purchases. And then lastly, the WK Kellogg Grant, and this is a program to support literacy through summer school for kindergartners and first grade, understanding that literacy starts before third grade. So we want to make sure that we are preparing our young people to be proficient by third grade. And so that is a fund that can be used to be reimbursed for the 2020 Summer Success Program. There is also a Dream Fund, which is not an action, which is also an action item that will be from the Community Foundation. They have agreed to purchase uniforms and equipment for the soccer team. And so we will need to approve that as well. And then the rest of our discussion will be covered under the superintendent's report as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Next, the next report will be coming from the Academic Achievement Committee, Dr. Baker.
Yes, we will. We haven't had an Academic Achievement Committee meeting since March. So this coming Wednesday, we are moved up to 3 o'clock. And so from 3 to 4:30, this will be the committee's chance to vet the plans for restarting the school year. And so the committee will have a chance to go through the suggested plans prior to the public hearing, which will happen at 5:30. So that'll be certainly something that people can participate in, or I'm sorry, people can view on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and then hopefully participate in at 5:30 in the public hearing. So the sole item on Wednesday will be the plan for restarting in the fall.
Dr. Baker, will all of us have access to that Zoom meeting, or we'll just?
The committee, maybe Craig can clarify. I participated in some meetings where I wasn't on the committee. You would be, if you're not on the committee, you would be just a participant viewing. You would not be a participant, I'm sorry, you would be there and you would be viewing. We would not, the people on the committee would not see you or know that you, well, they might know that you're there, but you would not be able to comment or anything.
Okay, but we can
Yeah.
go to the Zoom note from.
Yes, we do encourage all board members to attend, if you're able to attend the Academic Achievement Committee meeting this Wednesday, if you're able to.
So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that we obviously have a lot to think about, and I've asked the academic team to put together a response to some of the questions that we've been getting from the community. So it should be a very worthwhile meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baker. Next, we have the superintendent's report.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Baker. You kind of teed up some of the work that we are doing for Wednesday of next week. As you mentioned, that's the Academic Achievement Committee meeting, and then followed by a town hall where we're encouraging and inviting people to ask questions and ask around clarity. So there will be two different presentations, a deep dive during the Academic Achievement Committee meeting where there'll be a full presentation related to our return to the 2021 school year. And then at the 5:30 meeting, we'll have an overview of what we presented at 3 o'clock and allow for community to ask questions and get clarity around some of the things that may come up during that session, as well as we'll have a frequently asked questions page on our website. So if people do miss, or if there's something that they wanted some information on, hopefully they'll be able to find it there. So good evening to everyone, President Grant, members of the board. I am going to just provide an overview of the back to school distance learning plan and provide some additional information concerning Schoology. We have received a lot of feedback and questions related to the proposed learning management system, or LMS, for the upcoming school year. I will share that our desire is to create structures that offer learning, which are adaptive and responsive to our right now needs, as well as long range goals for students, as well as our staff. We've continued to work through many areas, including the implementation and timing of Schoology, ongoing PD support needed for teachers, and the ability for all to successfully navigate Schoology as a part of kind of a one-stop shopping learning management system. And the question has been kind of rising to the surface. Do we have the structural components needed to provide successful rollout, to create support and that culture of learning for our staff as well as our students? And my answer is not fully. We are going to move Schoology forward, but we're making some recommended adjustments in the implementation, including piloting the learning management system at a couple of school sites where teachers and leaders have said that they are ready to use Schoology for the fall. So we are going to pilot Schoology at select school sites. Teachers will receive training, additional PD support during the pilot, and we will be working very closely with them and their students. The rollout for the rest of the district will look very, very different. We have decided and have felt, that we need to slow down a little, that we will truly be able to measure how this learning management system works for our community, allowing us to tailor it to offer additional professional development, professional learning, to Grand Rapids Public School-ize it so it meets the needs of our right now, kind of where we are in our structure and the needs of our students and our staff. And we'll also take under advisement the advice and supports that teachers offer who are piloting the program. I will say that this is an opportunity to differentiate our PD for our staff. We often talk in education about how do we differentiate support and learning for teachers. I think it's important that we also model that with our staff. And so we will be supporting the Schoology rollout, but we're doing it in learning bursts, and we're doing it with kind of those initial adopters or initial staff members who are saying, yep, we're really interested in doing this, and that we'll continue to develop structures so teachers can feel successful as they are learning to navigate this platform. That is my kind of overall overview. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear. We are going to move it forward in a pilot, and we'll be working very closely with schools that have been identified by their leaders, as well as teachers who have come forward and said, yes, we're very interested in adopting this program. Questions that I can answer?
No, I don't have any question, but I do like that idea of sort of piloting with sort of volunteer schools for sure. No questions. I'm just interested in hearing more as we move forward.
Okay, thank you.
And I do just also, for a clarifying point, want to say that we will, as we vote on this purchasing piece next Monday. So the Schoology piece will fall under an action item for next Monday's meeting. And we will have a little bit more details about what that rollout will look like for the pilot and what those costs, because it will be a modified cost compared to a cost for the entire district. And so what those costs cover. So before, I just wanted to say that before questions were asked about the cost or the things, I appreciate that the district was willing to listen to some feedback, and it was a lot of time spent today focusing on this decision. And so the homework is going to be done in between this Monday and next Monday to get more details. So just wanted to let everyone know that.
Thank you for that clarification, Ms. Grant. Other questions that I can answer?
Dr. Roby, I'm wondering, are we going to pilot this for the full 9 weeks? And then if we have to make virtual learning for a longer period of time, then other teachers would be getting on board? Or how do you see this working?
So our team met earlier today with the Schoology team to kind of figure out some of the details related to that. At minimum, we would do a pilot of the first 9 weeks, yes, and then look at how do we onboard teachers for the second part of the school year or even after the semester. And it would be kind of planning that slow rollout, what additional trainings and supports would be needed to kind of get other teachers up to speed. So we are still working through some of the logistics. My goal is to continue that work with my team to be able to kind of unpack that a little bit more in detail for everyone next week.
Yeah, I would like to say one quick thing though. I do think a LMS is definitely the way to go for us for sure. And to all of our teachers listening, I mean, I'm not an instructor at GRCC, but I'm familiar with our LMS system, and it definitely is a really robust tool in the classroom. So I definitely think it is the way to go. But I do like this patient rollout for sure. But I'm excited about the possibilities.
Thank you. And if I can just add, it's important, again, we are a educational and learning system. I think we do have to model that, and we're responsive. I think that our team has really tried to hear the voice and see where have we not been as tight, and I will accept responsibility for that in the sense of asking questions so that we are better prepared. I want to make sure that what we're putting before our teachers, they feel comfortable and confident in their work so that they're able to in turn be comfortable in rolling it out towards their students. I've had some experiences with the learning management system. I know that it makes it easier for the end user once you become familiar to navigate attendance and record keeping and how students are loading up assignments. And we want to, again, make sure that it's simple, but we also want to look at it from the perspective of those teachers who are really proficient with technology, as well as those teachers who are still kind of learning and are not as confident. And how do we differentiate our support so that we're able to make sure that everybody feels successful when they're teaching?
Thank you.
And I just wanted to ask Dr. Roby, and also the assumption is that you're working with the teacher leadership and making sure that all the way across the stakeholders really are able to give input, and it sounds like you have in regards to how it's being implemented, and then going forward, making sure that we're training our teachers and certainly our families as well, right?
Yes, I think we have some opportunities for growth, quite honestly, in how are we engaging our various stakeholders, and quite frankly, I think I made some assumptions, and again, I'm going to put it on myself because I think I have to take responsibility. I made some assumptions around what people knew and did not know, and so yes, we will be making a concerted effort to ensure that we've added voice of the perspective of the end user, and that's why the purpose of the pilot, so people who are using it can tell us what works well, what's not working well, what were their challenges, and then we're able to tailor it moving forward as we roll out for the entire district. And I think that should be with any initiative that we're doing with professional development, trying to figure out how do we include that voice of the different stakeholders, and then making sure that we've shored up all the other kind of loose pieces as far as the behind the scenes. How does technology systems, how do they talk to one another? Because that also has to be a part of our work. We can't just say, oh yeah, this particular group likes something, and we haven't considered kind of all the other people who have touch points that will either make it run well or make it not run well. And so we're trying to get tighter in that. And again, this is not an excuse. I don't offer it as an excuse. I'm 30 days in. And so as I'm learning, I'm trying to adjust and push differently. So we will get better at some of our structures, but it does take some time. So I appreciate the patience that people have shown. I appreciate your patience as board members.
Thank
I'd like to
you.
just chime in if I could and just say from a teacher's perspective, because having, been in the classroom and then left the classroom and then gone back and witnessed technology and its very quick advancement, and then having to get my hands around that. I'm speaking specifically about Power School when I returned back to the classroom after being an administrator with the district for several years and then taking a leave of absence. I found it very engaging, very challenging, but once I got my hands around it, it was just awesome. It was like a world of opportunity to teach with creativity, with resources, with visuals, with stimulation for the kids, a variety of resources. And I tell you, when I was looking at one of the presentations that is a PowerPoint that a young lady from Cesar Chavez sent to us by email, and you could compare Schoology with what's the other one? I'm sorry, with Google. I think it's Google School.
Google
right?
Classroom. Mm-hmm.
Google Classroom. Thank you. And where they mesh together and some of the advantages that they have. I really like Schoology. I'd really like to see us embrace that, but I feel like many of the teachers have expressed themselves that we need to take a couple steps at a time and maybe proceed a little slower. And I want to congratulate you, Dr. Roby, for really being adaptive, for being a listener to those who have advanced a position on this as teachers. And I think you made the right decision here. It sounds solid.
I appreciate that feedback. And again, I would be remiss. My team has been phenomenal where I've been throwing things at them and they have been really quick to say, okay, let me get research on this or let me get more information. And so I appreciate that. But this work is done in collaboration with the teaching and learning team, the executive directors, the academic teams, and the executive members. We have been all working together over the last couple of days, trying to pull some things together to make sure that we do have a solid program for teachers, because we want it to be successful. No one wins if it's not successful. Other questions that I can answer?
Okay, I'm going to move to action items. So the first item that we have is the purchasing agenda. Is there any discussion around this item? Any questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
Miss Lewis, you moved on my screen.
Dr. Baker. Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, yes. Reverend Matias?
Yes.
Mr. Ross? Mr. Ross?
Okay, I think that's who we lost. I knew
Okay.
things shifted on the screen.
Okay. Ms. Shackey?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
And President Grant?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, we have the purchasing agenda addendum. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the addendum?
Support.
Support.
Okay, Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, yes. Reverend Matias?
Yes.
Mr. Ross? Ms. Shackey?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
President Grant?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do I have a motion to approve the blanket purchases for the 2020-2021 school year?
So moved.
Support.
Dr. Baker,
Yes.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Dr. Flores,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, yes. Reverend Matias,
Yes.
Mr. Ross, Ms.
He's
Shaki,
having it.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams,
Yes.
President Grant,
Yes.
motion carries.
Mr. Ross is attempting to rejoin us, but it may be a few moments. Next, we have the WK Kellogg Foundation grant. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
Dr. Baker,
Yes.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Dr. Flores,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, yes. Reverend Matias,
Yes.
Mr. Ross, Ms. Shaki,
Yes.
Mrs. Williams,
Yes.
President Grant,
Yes.
motion carries.
And lastly, we have the Dream Fund grant. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, Dr. Baker,
Yes.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Dr. Flores,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, yes. Reverend Matias,
Yes.
Mr. Ross, Ms. Shaki,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
President Grant,
Yes.
motion carries.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda grouping?
Motion
moved.
to approve. Support.
Thank you. Ms. Lewis?
Dr. Baker,
Yes.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Dr. Flores,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, yes. Reverend Matias,
Yes.
Mr. Ross, Ms. Shaki,
Yes.
Mrs. Williams,
Yes.
and President Grant.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we have a discussion item, which is the virtual work session for Monday, August 10th. This work session will review, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. We will talk about the virtual learning plan. We will also hear more details on the pilot for Schoolology. And Dr. Roby, is there anything else I'm missing for this agenda? Okay, so those are the items on the agenda. We have not had a work session in so long. Well, I guess we did have one work session during quarantine, but I feel like it's been a really long time since we had a work session. This meeting will still be virtual, but I do look forward to actually having some conversation as a group. That will be wonderful. Next on the agenda, we have 2 public comments. And if you give me one moment, I have the names. We have Melinda Folkert and Wendy Winston. And we're gonna let them join us, and then we can start with Melinda. Melinda, can you hear us?
Yes. Okay.
All right. So just a few quick notes. I'm sorry, just a few quick notes. For public comment, we do allow 3 minutes, and we will let you know when your time is up.
Okay, thank you. I'm assuming everyone has seen my comment.
No.
Oh, okay. So my question is, I'm extremely concerned about the online learning for these students, and having experience of friends that are single parents and also friends that have both parents involved. It is extremely difficult for these families to do online learning. And I'm just wondering if the board has considered looking at the options like Granville Public Schools has done, that the parents have the option of either sending their kids to school or keeping them home. And then the kids that stay home are actually can log on and be essentially present in the classroom to have actual instruction by that teacher. There's just so many issues that I'm extremely worried about these inner city kids not being able to go to school and putting their education even farther behind some of these suburban schools.
Okay, thank you. During public comment, we are unable to respond, but we do take your comment. We do keep it on record. And if there are any questions for us, we do respond back. So Melinda, thank you very much for voicing your concerns. Next, we have Wendy Winston.
Okay, am I in now? Okay, thank you. Thank you to the board members, President Grant and Dr. Roby. I wasn't able to prepare any statement because I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen at the meeting, but I really just want to commend Dr. Roby on the decision to move the Schoology implementation to a pilot. I really felt that maybe there wasn't enough time to get that moving and implemented well before school started. I like the idea of a small rollout and regular input from parents, students, and teachers who are doing the pilot so that we can kind of troubleshoot any issues that come up. I do understand there are ramifications that go along with having some school buildings doing a pilot program and other school buildings running a different program. But this decision has removed an additional, I'm really sorry about that. Sorry, I only have 3 minutes. This decision has removed an additional stressor from an already stressful beginning of a school year for just learning a whole nother platform right before we need to start. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do the remote teaching, and adding that other layer of a new platform was really a lot to think about. So I just wanted to thank the board for stepping back on that a little bit and considering a slower rollout with a pilot. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
President Grant?
Yes.
Our first speaker, was that a parent or a teacher?
I did not have the details in the file for Melinda. We can find out though.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. Next on the agenda would be superintendent's comments.
Did you say superintendent's comments?
Yes, I did.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I thought that's what you said. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to speak out of turn. And then you all say, it's not your turn. All right. As a kind of reminder, today was the official start of the 2021 school year as building leaders, AP supervisors, and secretaries began returning to their buildings to kick off the 2021 school year. So welcome back to all of those colleagues and staff members. I expect that this is going to be both a challenging, interesting, unique school year like we have not known before. Thank you to our professional learning and academic team. They are kicking off our professional learning sessions tomorrow with our leaders using the Leading the GRPS way. And so I look forward to getting an opportunity to engage and meet, and I'm putting meet in air quotes because I've only interacted with a couple of people who are in the district, and I'm looking forward to getting to meet building leaders and APs and supervisors and getting to know their personalities and such. So this is an exciting time. I know that it comes with lots of anxiety and stress, but we are in this together, and we are going to do our level best to ensure that we are adaptable and flexible, and trying to keep our young people and our staff safe so that they have a positive school year. And that will end my comments for this evening.
Thank you. And just so you all know, Mr. Ross is back on. He's called in. So he is here. Mr. Ross, it was requested that you be added to the panel if you can be. So just, oh, there he is. All right. So Ms. Shockey, do you have comments?
No comment this evening. Just a question though about the work session time. Is it 4:30? Are we?
That is a good question. I know that we have, since we've been doing virtual meetings, we have tried to push it back a bit if others wanted to join us. So I'm sure it's posted, but let's also have a conversation about that. It may be 4:30, but are you all okay with making it 5:30 so the community can join us? Okay, so let's go ahead, and if it is posted for 4:30, we'll move it back.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Ms. Lewis, we can't hear you.
Aren't you lucky that I'm on here to make things more interesting? No, I just want to congratulate the cabinet and the superintendent and all the people who've worked so hard on this, and I want to compliment the teachers too, who are willing to do these things that are so difficult. And even though many people did it last spring, I know that there were lots of glitches, and I'm assuming those glitches will be fixed. And I'm amazed sometimes when I think about all the work that's been done by Grand Rapids Public Schools.
Thank you, Dr. Baker.
Yeah, first I want to thank the teachers that have communicated with us about their hopes and their concerns. And also I want to thank you, President Grant, and the time I know it took for you to take to kind of get a sense of where the board was at, and Dr. Roby and my colleagues on the board for being responsive to the community. It's so hard to know what to do right now. I think that we got a letter last week from a group of parents, and I didn't respond to that letter, but I thought that was what was most telling about that letter were just the list of concerns that the school system is expected and needs to be responsive to take care of our children. I mean, the level of need in our community from families and children, the expectations of not just learning, but mental health, physical health, safety, well-being, is just really somewhat overwhelming. And it's not something that we really even to some extent receive funding to take care of, that we are such an important institution in this community. And I do respect that other community organizations are stepping up to help us, but it's just a huge burden for us to do well. And I just want to think that these are all life and death decisions that we're involved in right now. And truly, and I respect, one thing I say every time I'm asked about what will GRPS do is that GRPS will do what it thinks is in the best interest of children. And maybe we'll be wrong, but I trust so much the respect of this administration trying to do the right thing. And hopefully we'll get through this era, but I do trust that we're doing the right thing. Thanks.
Thank you. Reverend Matthias.
Yes, thank you. I am just so glad that we are not alone. I just want to tell our teachers, our parents, our partners, we're not alone. As as I speak with people, and certainly in this time of isolation, unprecedented isolation, um, we're not alone in this. There's a lot of stakeholders. We just saw one, tonight, Affinity Mentoring and others who are partnering to make sure that the well-being of our students. Parents continue to partner with us as we figure this out. There is not a playbook for this. And so we have to, in working together, as you see the 9 plus our superintendent and others that are working at figuring this out in partnership with our teachers and leadership. So it's so critical. There are so many people who are wanting the best and certainly praying through all of this, trying to figure out how we go forward and do the right thing. Really appreciate the time that we're taking to figure out how to make the best of this situation. And I believe that we're going to be the better for it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Flores.
Yeah, I think that most everything has been said with respect to where we're going as a district. I just want to compliment our staff for putting children first and making sure that our voices, or the voices of teachers and parents and community, are heard, and making sure that we have a safe opening. And I just pray that God is with us and that we don't have any mishaps or missteps within our rollout of this school year. So again, thank you for the administration for having a receptive ear and being adaptive. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams.
I would like to thank everyone that completed the surveys, from staff to parents. It was important for us to hear your voice in that. And I appreciate the time it took. And then I'd like to remind everyone to complete your census if you have not, as well as tomorrow is election day. So don't forget to get out and either vote absentee ballot or in person.
Thank you. All very good points. Thank you. Mrs. Davis.
I don't have any comments tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Ross.
No comment.
All right. Well, I just want to say that I am very thankful for this administration and for this staff, and also for the partners who are willing to reach out to us and show us the multiple sides of and implications of what things look like, and just knowing that we always have to have everyone at the table when we're making decisions that really affect our students. And I do also want to just commend the district for listening to what people are saying and being willing to change course. Just know that we are listening. Please continue to reach out to us, to talk to us. And this is definitely a community effort. So I look forward to having more conversation Monday about what implementation looks like. All right. Thank you all. Meeting is adjourned.